less than 1/3 of the Earth's remaining inhabitants left. So how do you think they die?
That's right. Jesus said 1/3. What was it? What's it?
By the time you equal out all the judgments through the trumpets and the bowls, there's not too many left. I mean, the trumpet judgments alone take out a quarter, and then the bowls take out a third.
So that's a third of mankind left.
That's
second coming.
And a third left. And he has told me that when he does come, there's going to be more aliens and demons here than humans. Because on top of all this coming, we've got an alien invasion coming. We've got Satan coming with all of his forces.
So 2005 may well be the year this all starts.
Yeah, I really think so. I think probably started back in 2004.
A lot of people say this. This is one of those rumors that starts and can't really stop. But a lot of people keep saying that the Antichrist will be revealed on June 6, 2006, because that's 666.
Well, people have asked me that, and I'll tell you I don't see it in the codes at all for June 6. What I do see for May and perhaps June. June isn't a very strong month. May is the dominant month for the coming of the false prophet, the Maitreya.
May, right.
May. And then July is a strong month for the destruction of America's capital. And September and October have always been the dominant months for when the Antichrist arrives himself. Because the false prophet, people don't understand this, he's going to come first. He is going to come first because the false prophet is Jesus. He's coming masquerading as Jesus, and the Antichrist is God. So Jesus has to come first, the Son, to prepare the way for his Father, God. And that's what we're going to see.
And then eventually he returns to Israel. That's what we see in Revelation 13.
Yeah, well, they're chased out of America. I mean, the 10 kings are going to burn America with fire. They hate America. America is Babylon. And, for a while, they kowtow to the Antichrist, but eventually he does have to flee to Jerusalem. He'll rule the world from Jerusalem. The whole game, from beginning to end, was to see who would get to rule Jerusalem. The whole world from Jerusalem. And, of course, you can jump to the back of the book and see who wins that one.
That's true. And even 2/3 of Israel will be destroyed, and 1/3 will realize that this person is evil, and they will flee to the rock mountains of Petra. That's what we read in Revelation, and then God will miraculously save Israel.
Right.
But isn't it interesting, Sherry? It's always 1/3 of Israel and 1/3 of the world will be saved, and 2/3 destroyed.
And that's basically, I'm doing research. I've been working on a serpent seed line article and some stuff for my next book coming out. And everything's in threes.
Everything's in threes.
I'm just seeing everything in threes because when you look at the serpent seed line of Cain, and then you look at the seed line of Esau, and then you have the seed line of the Lord.
Well, didn't that start in Genesis when God said, I will put the seed of the woman at enmity with the devil?
Yeah, we're not going to get into that on this show. That thing would take up 6 shows in itself. But I just wanted to bring that up, that so many things are in threes, and the underdogs always Yahweh's people. But are we really the underdogs? He's the one that comes out on top. He could rule this entire world with a handful of faithful people.
Well, like we said last week with the false prophets like Benny Hinn and Copeland that God allows, a time of testing is coming where God will see who is worthy of his kingdom, who will follow him and who will follow after the beast.
Yeah, in 2004 we kind of saw a dividing line begin.
Yes, we did.
It was kind of like
election.
Yeah, it was kind of like those who really loved the Lord and were truth seekers and seeking him, and he was able to work with them and get them out of the churches and start showing them the truth and revealing it to them. And then the other ones who just become so demonized, hateful, and legalistic and attack everybody else who dare rails against the church because they love their false prophets. They love those antichrists running the churches today. And you can't break any truth to them. They don't want the truth. They want the falsehoods.
That's right. They want the lies, and if you speak the truth, you become the devil and the evil one, and they will try to rebuke you.
Yeah, and in the last days, they're going to be the ones that are trying to kill you. They're going to be the ones that are going to be supporting the Christian persecution, because what they're going to do is call everybody who has left the churches the Satanists and come against you. It's all going to turn around. The real believers are going to become, to them, the Satanists, and the Satanists and demonized sitting in the churches today and following all these false prophets and truths are going to, pump themselves up as the Lord's real believers.
That's right, and that's what God said in Isaiah. Woe to you who call good evil and who call evil good.
Oh, yeah, that's exactly what we're going to see.
That's right.
And we've started seeing a little bit of it in 2004, and it's just going to get worse. I mean, you can see it on the Internet today, just the message boards, the chat rooms, and just so much demonization of believers today. It's unreal.
The hate's building. You know, it's funny you said that, the demonization of believers, because even, especially in this country, if you speak a word against a minority or a religious group or black people, you're slammed with using hate speech, and they try to bring criminal charges sometime against you. But in this country, it is open game on Christians. You can bash Christians, call them names, attack Christians, and nobody says a word.
Yeah, but it just sits down. Nobody cares. Nobody's standing up saying, wait a minute, I'm a Christian. I'm being discriminated against here. This is my country.
That's very true.
You know, you feel it coming to a wind down because they've already got the Patriot Act passed. We no longer have a Constitution. Whenever they want to start enforcing this little Patriot Act, you know, legislation from the pit of hell itself, it's going to come out, and then that's over.
That's an interesting word, the Patriot Act, because if you oppose it, what are you? You're a non-patriot.
You're unpatriotic.
Yeah, you're not patriotic.
And that's what they did to the congressmen, right, bulldozing them to sign this thing. They wouldn't even allow them to read it. They just said, you have to sign it, because if you don't, we're going to tell everybody in your districts and your states that you're unpatriotic and you're supporting terrorists.
Right, and only a patriot wouldn't have to read it. He just has to sign it, right?
And so that's what they did. You know, right. Dick Cheney was there to bulldoze everybody into signing the first one. No one was allowed to read it. And it was 4 months until after it had been signed before they even got leaked what was in it that they had signed.
Well, I wonder, from what we heard in that, we were supposed to have that guest for some reason that he couldn't show up, that FBI person. What was that in there, Sherry, about the news, where they have the power to shut down any website that reports on news or news-related subjects without a license?
Yeah, it's in the Patriot Act. It's illegal to be reporting on news now because you're scaring national security here. All of us little housewives and men sitting in their homes are a big threat to national security now. And what they're saying is that you can't report on news, you can't have an opinion on news, you no longer have a Fifth Amendment.
So really, there's no more, under this Patriot Act, according to what you just said, there's no more freedom of speech.
There is none. No, there's no more Constitution under the Patriot Act. It totally replaces the Constitution.
No more freedom of the press?
And people don't understand that, and they sit at home, and they hear all these glorified terms. Oh, it's the Patriot Act. They're going to protect us. Big Brother's out to protect the Americans. And people don't understand that this country went under a coup a long time ago, and they come in with their, smooth tongues and their sharp tongues, and they speak patriots and they speak religion, and they're nothing but, Satan freaks, serving the wrong side, taking over this country so that they can destroy it from the top down. And that's exactly what they've done. They've come in, they've thrown out our Constitution, they've brought in this Patriot Act, and how confident they could have been on passing this thing. They never batted an eye, because look how easily Caesar took over the church and the Christians said nothing. Oh, a tax exemption. How nice.
Well, that's true.
Oh, look, I can claim my tithings on my taxes and get some money back.
Yeah, and the ministry saw it as, wow, we can sell our books through the ministry and not have to pay any taxes.
And so all these churches went and they dumped down this 501c3s. They got notified, the IRS telling them to do it, and they all signed on and did it without researching what they were doing. They replaced the Lord as head of the church with Caesar.
All because of greed.
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 Oh, they're going to come after me if I don't go along with this. They're